Okay, and I'm gonna start this.
We're gonna start this.
And we're gonna do a new file. Alright,
Is there any?
are you guys ready to go?
There's no place we can monitor this. You're just recording.
Just recording.
You're not live on it.
No. Not yet. We're getting,
Okay.
working the bugs out.
Alright, I'm gonna start recording.
Okay.
Okay. Good to go. All right. So I'm Jay Strandy. I'm here with Richard Mittman for our second episode of A Vet Spec.
Sir.
Rich is prior service, did 6.5 years total in the military. He enlisted in 2011 as an E3, which is a PFC. He did basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, AIT at Fort Eustis, Virginia, and he was stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas in December of 2011. In August of 2013, he deployed to Kandahar, Afghanistan, returning home in April of 2014. He made the rank up to E5.
Maybe he likes it.
When he came home, he was discharged from active duty and he served in reserves for 6 months. And he received his honorable discharge in 2017. Everything sound correct there?
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty darn good.
So I guess the first thing we're going to do is, you told me to cross this off, so we're going to figure out why this didn't last very long in the reserves.
Well, yeah, that's I was what was it, 6 months out of active duty, I think it was, and you know, you get a phone call from a reserve recruiter and they say the right words, and you know, I signed up for 6 months just to try it out, see if it felt right, but at the time I was working, I don't know, 60 hours a week. Oh, mic up, yeah. I was working a lot. I'm traveling kind of a 5-state area around here in Minnesota as a technician, repairing. It was the job I got after the Army, and repairing commercial water chillers and generators, and then my reserve unit that I got stuck with was up in Buffalo, Minnesota, so that's an hour away.
Another transportation, yeah.
Well, I mean, luckily my company, I was able to take home my truck, and so that it wasn't too bad for transportation. Yeah.
No, I mean the unit was transportation.
Oh yeah. I was slated to transfer from a 15 Delta to an 88 Mike. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so that settled that. That's all I was interested in. So, what made you join?
Well, growing up, my mom's dad, grandpa, was in World War II. He gave me a few stories, but he would never really give me too much. But he was in the Air Force, flew P-51 Mustangs or P-52s? P-51s. And I know the only thing I know is he was shot down over Italy. He was a POW for a period of time. He said they treated him real nice and gave him cigarettes and stuff. So it was. I'm glad. I'm grateful for that, obviously. But it was hearing his stories and the way he talked about the military, and then my dad was always very respectful of military personnel, and so I kind of grew up with that all around the home. But on my dad's side, I was the first one to take the leap and actually join the Army, or join the military at all. So, yeah.
And you joined late in life, right?
I did. Actually, I joined twice.
Twice.
Once right after 9/11. That one hit home. I was in college and was in whatever class that day, and was in Franklin College, Indiana, and came out of class. You could kind of feel in the air something wasn't right, and then you started hearing what happened on September 11th, 2001, and you know, college wasn't doing it for me. I had trouble picking a major and finding a path in college, so I went and looked at the Air Force, looked at pararescue, signed all the paperwork. Was 2 weeks away from leaving for basic, and my dad talked me out of it. I wish I would have done it because I've been real close to retirement, but you know what? Everything happens for a reason, so wouldn't be here if I was still in the Air Force.
I hear you there. I don't know how that works out.
But yeah, so then I did the second time, to get to the Army, actually, where I did join. I was 29, and geez, what was it? It was you know, just didn't, again, just not trouble finding a path in life. And I said, you know what, I've always respected the military and defending our country. And if I can't find a path, I'm sure they can find one for me. So I went to the Army, went through all that process. I had to get a bunch of waivers because the Air Force had blackballed me, or not blackballed, blacklisted me. That's what they said. If I didn't go to basic, then I'd never be able to join again. So, but I did through the waivers and stuff in the Army. But yeah, 29.
So what was your job in the Army?
Started out, as you know, we all do all sorts of jobs, but my MOS was 15 Delta, aircraft powertrain repair. And as a 15 Delta, you learn all the aircraft, Kiowa, Apache, Black Hawk, Chinook. And in AIT, we even worked on a little bit on a Huey. And got to sling load one on activity. That was awesome. That was all training, but still awesome. 15 Delta, we a lot of the powertrain, we balanced the rotor blades. We a couple seals on the transmission we would do, balance rotor blades, general hourly maintenance in the back shops. Any maintenance that is general maintenance and scheduled is what the word I'm looking for. We would have in our back shops. They would the crew chiefs would take parts off, bring them to us that had more parts to break down. So yeah, so we rebuild parts in the back shops, send them out. We also did NDIs, non-destructive inspections. So that's working with eddy currents, that's working with fluorescent penetrant, working with, what is it, what's the other one? Sonogram, I think. Oh, and we also did x-rays. We would, you know, we didn't do much x-rays, but we were looking for cracks in the airframe and any structural integrity parts. So, you know, that was.
What was the hardest part of doing that?
Oh, the paperwork, always. The paperwork, always the paperwork. I didn't do this the right way, but I memorized basically like if I could probably tear down a Black Hawk spindle in my mind right now and tell you every nut washer, and because we had to document and annotate every nut that fell off, every washer, or every nut that we took off, washer and bolt. Any piece that comes off the aircraft, you annotate and you say, hey, here, Mr. Inspector, here it is, I'm putting it back on, you know. Anything that comes off the aircraft is considered FOD, foreign object damage. And so aircraft, you got to account for all the parts. You got to be super accountable. So, and doing the paperwork was always a struggle for me. So I would just do them all at the end.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about,
Yeah.
because my job when I was a civilian, I worked on Army trucks, but I had two people that came from a shop up in the cities when it closed down that were your job.
Yeah.
And then it came to our job, and they were really particular about the paperwork. And it's like, yeah, but these things don't fly at 10,000 feet.
Yeah, they're not falling out of the sky. So I understood that. I once we get in deployment, that's one of my horror stories. Of deployment was missing a 7/16 nut. So
but we're getting close.
we're getting there.
We're getting there. So you got promoted a couple times. You went from PFC to E5. And what was that like? I mean, you didn't go to PLDC. You went to, what do they call it?
Oh, WLC Warrior Leadership
Warrior
Course.
Leadership
Yeah,
Course, yeah.
Ashland, Nebraska. Did that before deployment. And, you know, I always just kind of stood in the back, tried to do my job. And I had a couple of strong senior NCOs that kind of, they pushed me along. And if I would have stayed in, I think I would have ranked up pretty quick. But made E4 relative right after AIT, basically. I think maybe a month or two into getting to my duty station, and which is just a time and grade thing. It wasn't anything special. The E5 is kind of your first, in my opinion, your first major benchmark. You go through boards and you get grilled by a bunch of senior leadership, and I did that downrange, and that was an experience in itself. So.
Well, that's easier then, because you didn't have to worry about your Class A's.
You're right, but I had to wear my full battle gear. And it was in, what was it? It was late in the deployment, I think. It was late in the deployment, so it was starting to heat back up over there in Kandahar. So it was like 90 degrees and I'm running around, but it was what it was. It was fun. I had a good experience.
So how hard was it for you to adapt going from civilian to military? full-time?
You know, civilian to military was easy. You hear throughout your life, I mean, how hard these men are and everything they have to go to, and you really lean on those guys when you're going through basic, and you find somebody that looks like they know what they're doing, you know. But I went in heavy, and I was like 265, 270 when I went in, and I gave myself a goal of losing some weight, getting in shape while I was in there, you know, and I ended up losing 40 pounds in basic just by kind of eating carnivore basic. The new thing is, I didn't know it was carnivore back then, but just cut out all the carbs and just I made basic pretty hard on myself that way, because I wouldn't eat any carbs throughout the week except for on Sunday. So yeah, but everything going from civilian to military is just like, those guys know what they're doing, and they're trying to teach me how to do that. So trust your equipment. Like you showed me how to roll up a Swiss seat and with a piece of rope, and I could rappel down the wall right now. You know, I haven't done that since basic, so. But I trust that equipment because they trained us the right way.
Right. So that was 2000. When did you join?
2011.
So 10 years after 9/11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had, did you have all the battle rattle that they call? I mean, when I went through, I had, you just had your little shoulder harnesses. And,
Oh, we had plates and everything.
all your plates
Oh,
and
yeah.
TVs and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I had steel posit at the washout. You had Kevlars, right?
Did we have Kevlar? Yeah, ours were Kevlar. Yeah. Now I think about it.
So a little bit of differences. Of course, it's 20 years difference.
You guys were a little harder back then.
Yeah, I think so. So what was the easiest thing to adapt to?
Oh, jeez. Easiest thing. I don't know. Just the schedule was nice. Like,
Yeah.
You know, just kind of having a routine, and you don't have to worry about what you're putting on in the morning, and you're wearing the same uniform every day. You're seeing the same people. It's as long as you like who you're working with, you'll probably do right.
Yeah, that was pretty easy though.
Yeah.
Knowing it, the structure.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you got used to the structure, then the rest was great.
If you're there in the right uniform, you got half of the day done. That's the truth.
Right.
And that was hard for some people.
So you deployed in 2013. So you were at Fort Riley for a couple years.
Yes, sir.
Before you deployed, and you were on main post out on the flight line.
I was. We were on the flight line right next to I-70, and the nuclear cannon up on the hill. So we have to see that every day. It's pretty neat. And the airfield every day. Can't complain. I love aviation. We lived off post for the first couple of years, 2 years, and then deployed. Or did we move on post right before deployment or right after? It was right after, wasn't it?
It was after. It was
After
right, it was
deployment,
before
yeah.
Emma was born.
So yeah, deployment, we left August. Our chalk was slated to leave in August of 2013. I had a child on the way. I requested to my command to stay behind, to go with the later chalk until the baby was born. Gavin's sitting right over there. So in a couple weeks in, he calls me and he's like, "Hey, you're leaving in a week." And I'm, okay. So I got to spend 18 hours on Skype while my first kid was born, and I was 7,000 miles away. That was life changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puts the deployment in a little bit more perspective.
It
Once you
does.
get a child, doesn't it?
It does. You know what you're fighting for.
Yeah.
It helps.
I think we all did after 9/11.
Yeah.
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 Where did you live off post?
Off post, we were in Junction City.
Junction
Oh
City.
yeah.
I was on the other side of Fort Riley.
Manhattan?
No, not even. I was north. I lived
North.
in. I was up by Milford Lake.
Oh, that's the right spot to be. We went fishing up there a lot, and then down to Harrington, and we did Wichita, and yep, Kansas was great.
So when you went to Milford Lake, was that little trailer court still there?
Trailer court. I don't know. We just went to take the boat out on the lake.
So you can just put it in by the dam and stuff?
Yep. Yep.
So the trailer court was further north.
A lot of rock bass by that dam.
Yeah. And big catfish.
Yep. Yep. Good stuff.
So we got something in common. We both know where each other lived. I didn't like going to Junction City. Well, it depended on what part of Junction City.
I understand that. I don't blame you. We lived in there. It was, the guy we rented a house from, he was military, and he knew we were just starting out, and he was great to us. I think he started at $1,000 or $1,100 a month, and when we talked to him, he goes, $850. It's like, thank you, buddy. It was a good welcome to Fort Riley.
Yeah, it's the civilians around there know how much everybody makes on their BAH.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You live in a crappy trailer house and they charge you. Oh, you're a specialist? You make the that's what you're.
Yeah, right. And that's probably what he did. But I didn't look at it that way at that time.
Right.
But then we moved on post after the kid was born. My second one.
Yeah.
So
So you deployed to Kandahar.
yes.
That's where I served when I was over in Afghanistan. So you were on the flight line there as well, I imagine. I know exactly where that was at.
Yep. Oh man, I can't remember the layout of the place, but it was large, and you know that.
Yep.
Flight line was big. We were.
In reference to Roll 3.
Where is it?
Roll 3. Remember Roll 3? Roll 3, the hospital that was on the flight line?
Okay, we were all the way down by
On
the
other end.
helicopters. Yeah.
Down by the poop pond.
Yeah. That was my other reference point. We drove by that every day to get to work. And either we took the big charter buses or we had the little right-hand drive hippie vans. They were really cool. Yeah.
Like the Scooby-Doo vans.
Yeah. And then we had little Tata trucks. Yeah. The Scooby vans. Those were great. That was fun. I mean, like you get to learn. You just learn to
with
drive.
your left hand.
Yeah.
I had a Isuzu Trooper.
Yeah.
I think that's what my pickup was. So we weren't that far away from, we weren't that far away from each other because if you went straight, so flight line's here,
Yeah.
and you go Coupon, you go that way.
Yeah.
I was right up here in 401st AFSB.
Okay.
I was there 2010-11, so by the time you got there, I was down there.
Yeah. And I didn't get around the base, but it's huge. I mean, like,
It's amazing.
Yeah. And basically, I stayed in the bazaar area, the little shops.
Oh, the boardwalk.
The boardwalk, that's what it was. And they had like the knockoff pizza places and Burger Kings, and it was weird, but that coffee house, the green bean coffee. Yep.
Oh, that was the best.
Oh yeah.
And then
a lot of guys
Canadians
know
played
that.
hockey there, like was going on a
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
Concrete hockey pad. By the way.
All right. They did a lot of soccer there while I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only place you could find grass.
That's true. Well,
Yeah, that was a good place.
that was fun.
The pizza that wasn't good.
It wasn't great. I think they cut up hot dogs for pepperoni.
I
and put it on
believe so.
there.
That's what they look like.
No, 100%. I believe
that's exactly
that's
what they
it.
look like when they got cooked.
They curl up like
Yeah,
like Grandma used to make.
Yeah. So, what was one of your most vivid experiences in Kandahar?
Oh man, we experienced a little bit of everything. First time you get rocket shot over you, it's kind of weird. The sirens go off, and again, like you obviously can't see anything, or if it's dark out, you just get up and do what you're told. You go to the bunkers, follow somebody that looks like they've been there before. Find like my warrant officers that the one I do remember, he was great. Everybody would be in the bunker, and we'd look out, and he's over there just going like, just he wouldn't go in the bunkers for some reason. Maybe he's claustrophobic. I don't know. Sorry, what was where were you at?
Vivid experience.
Vivid experience. That was, remember, like the little stuff like that. And then just, I mean, there's workers over there. Just it's a city over there. You living in there, and a haircut over there is real nice. They shave you up. They massage your neck, and man, you remember that every other week.
Yep.
And it's just kind of like one of those good things from home that you look for those things that you remember from home. But yeah, I tried to go off post a couple of times. I volunteered for a door gunner and kind of got shot down because we were real busy in maintenance at the beginning. But I was on post. I was a bobbit, pogue, whatever you want to call it.
Unfortunately, I wasn't. I was in charge of basically RC South as far as issuing equipment. So I was going from Kandahar all the way to the other end of Afghanistan, out to Shindan. I was at Camp Leatherneck for a while.
So you got to see all of it.
But it was all from the air. So I mean, it's a beautiful country.
That's what I hear.
Country.
The Kandahar's in that bowl though. That's what we kept getting told.
Remember that?
The northern.
You wake up in the morning and the first thing you see is that mountain off to that one mountain all by itself.
Yeah.
Where all the rockets came from.
Well. take the good with the bad, I suppose. You're
Yeah.
at war. What do you expect?
Yeah,
It's a beautiful mountain.
Yeah. I mean, did you have any experience? I mean, were you like me and notice that the explosions happened before the sirens?
Oh,
went off?
every time.
Yeah.
Or they would go off, and I think they said some like 80 to 90% wouldn't explode on impact, so that EOD would go out there and they would ring the bells again and say, hey, we're going to blow this up. And okay.
I remember one time when that did happen. A rocket went across the flight line and damaged a couple of birds sitting there
Really?
because it didn't blow up, but it fell apart.
Yeah.
Shrapnel. So it's kind of pretty crazy. I mean, yeah, you didn't hear a lot of explosions, but you know, I was there 2010, 11, so.
Now, you probably had a few more than we were really calming down. We had maybe one a month or so, but it wasn't too crazy. But we were there for the elections when we were trying to install democracy there. But that was the most vivid time. You want to say vivid? That was the most vivid because they brought in 400 to 600 infantry guys, and they literally lined the perimeter with their trucks, and all those guys were sitting in our hangars, and it was kind of cool, you know. They put up, it's a show of force. I mean, like if we're having elections on this day, and you know we expect stuff.
So how weird did you think it was when you go? Did you ever drive out by the perimeter?
No, we never. I stayed interior more.
Because you know there was nothing between us and the outside except for a barbed wire fence.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
There was nothing else.
I take that back.
And the guard towers.
I did see the White Rocks. Because there was a highway by that the charter buses would take to take us to work and back. But yeah, so that we did go by the fence there. But you see some farmers out there with their lawns or something, and then the White
You know,
Rocks.
compared to Balad when I was there, there was way more security at Balad compared
Really?
to Kandahar. I mean, we had barbed wire fence. That was
Yeah.
it.
I didn't ever feel super threatened there. You
Right.
know?
No, I didn't
mean,
either.
I mean, rockets went okay. I mean, the only time I felt like we were doing something really silly was when we were night shift and we had to have a Chinook or something out on the flight line, but you can't work unless you have light. So they would put these giant light towers, and that one of those nights a rocket went flying over us, and I was like, okay, let's not put a target on our back. You know, like a little common sense.
Right.
And there's a lot of that over there. You know, it's common sense doesn't go too far in the military.
So what was it like with the people that you worked with? I mean, do you still talk to them afterwards?
A
Are you in
handful
touch
of them, yeah. Some of the best friends I've ever made. I mean, those are real guys. You know, even in aviation, like these guys, the ones you still talk to. I think I have probably about 10 of them, and we go ice fishing every year. Kind of tell our stories, what's going on throughout the year. Some of them I've got down in some old friends I've got in Indiana. Another military guy that got banged up over there, IEDs and stuff. But yeah, there's definitely one or two of them that I lean on throughout my transition back into civilian and figuring out the rest of what I want to do with my life. So
It is pretty crazy how close you get to those people.
yeah,
You know, you sleep with them every day. You're
Yeah.
with them 24/7.
yeah.
365. It's pretty insane.
Everybody's got a loaded gun with them, and it's
Right.
like, and everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's cool.
It's
It's the only place in the world where you can walk around with a loaded gun.
Yeah.
Walk into a place to eat and walk into a place to shop.
Yeah.
Nobody's looking at you like, what's going on here?
yeah. Those first few weeks back without the rifle were
Felt like you were
felt
naked. didn't it?
interesting. Oh yeah, I jumped out of bed a couple of times, but
Did anything, I know both times that I deployed, there was always one or two things that stand out that were funny.
oh, funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we experienced all sorts of weather over there, and one night, me and a friend or a fellow soldier were in one of the Tatas, and we went to get something to eat. We were on night shift, so we took our lunch, and but it was pouring, and Kandahar floods.
Yeah.
So we were going down different streets, and and it was at nighttime, so you can't see. All you see is water. As we were finally got to the bazaar, got our food. We were on our way back, and I mean it's just a raging river, and we're like, we don't want to go that way. And I saw some guy walking, and this is funny. You'll like this, but I saw him, and he stepped into the water, went up knee first, took one more step, and just went under. And I went, Marcus, stop the truck. And I saw him climb back out of the hole, and his food was just floating away. And I was like, all right, he's okay. Let's go. No, Yeah, there was every emotion over there, and it was fun working with those guys over there. There was some high stress, some low stress, but
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying there, and the rain is just unbelievable. The rain.
yeah, I think we
But
got
it only rains for like a week, a month, maybe a month.
It's all at once.
Yeah, and they get all their rain in a month, and then you don't see nothing for 11 months. It's just crazy.
No, gotcha. Yeah, and then I mean, we saw snow, we saw dust storms, we saw like just everything. And
Yeah.
it was amazing. You saw that wall of dust coming, and they blow the I figured if they blow the sirens for that, but they got us into cover, and that lasted a couple. I forget how long that dust storm lasted, but
Did you get to work on any of the Afghani choppers? I know they had hips there. They had the Russian Mi hips there.
no, I saw the British the CH-46. That's a smaller version of our Chinook. They had the bigger British heavy lift. I forget what it's called, but it's a giant helicopter. And then we did do some NDIs for some civilian aircraft, winged aircraft, a couple of times, and they were reconnaissance type stuff.
So what would you say was the best part of being in the service?
Best part, just got me back on my feet. You know, as early life, like I said, didn't have a great path. Just tried college, that didn't work out. Overall, I had a great experience, and I think I went into it with the right mindset, like knowing, hey, basic's gonna suck. You know, I didn't realize how bad AIT sucked a lot worse, but I hated AIT, but I learned a lot, and I came out of it. I took some leadership roles in AIT because it was 6 months long, and you know, you just start volunteering for stuff and make it fun. And man, growing up, I heard don't volunteer for anything in the Army, and I found just the opposite. You know, every time nobody wants to drive those big trucks, and it's on my license. I've never driven one. I'll do it. You know, it gets you away from the hangar or gets you out something for the day or half the day or wherever you got to do. But I had fun in the military. You know, you get to do. There's good days and bad days. You got to take the good with the bad. You know?
So you got out in 20. When did you get out again?
2017.
So what in your life has changed post military?
Everything.
Okay. What's
Everything. So I got out. I started at a company, and I love the company. It's called. I don't know if I should say it on. It doesn't matter. It's called a Greco. It's like a United Rentals. And it's a bigger version of residential heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Power generation, big generators. We got to work the Super Bowl, several golf tournaments. I loved it. It was traveling. It was diverse work. It was challenging work. It was physical work. It was everything I wanted. But it took me away from my family too much. And I made good money. But at the end of the day, my wife and I decided her dad was getting out of farming, and we ended up purchasing from them their farm, their turkey farm. Last thing I thought I'd ever be doing, but I think we're about at a tape. Okay, you want to just stop it and reset it? Yeah, okay.
all right? Little pause.
Brief pause. We were
Resetting the camera.
resetting the camera. Yes, 30-minute timer, but no. Wife and I bought her parents' turkey farm, so I've been doing that the last 4 years. That has been a test in itself. My dad had turkeys when I was growing up. I was scared to death of those things. They're meaner than crap, especially the toms, but they will come at you. I've got scars all over my arms. I've bled so much out in those barns, more than I ever bled in the military. Those birds get you. But no, we're transitioning out of that, and you know, just looking for a different path in life and some excitement, and some fun, and just enjoying life.
So what has personally, in your life personally, your way of thinking, your perspective on life?
No.
How has that changed since your deployment?
Man, that's a loaded question. That's very,
So I know you were talking 2 weeks ago when we were doing mine that you've turned to the Lord quite a bit more.
I have 100%. Yeah,
I know that's changed a lot for me since my deployments too. I never thought before deployment. I never thought a thing about going to church on Sunday.
And I'll tell you the truth. I did use church in the military to get out of some work because it was the basic training. Like you can clean on Sundays or you can go to church, and it doesn't hurt to go to church. Doing things. But I didn't do it every Sunday because I felt weird doing that. So it was like, if I felt like, I don't know. Anyway, I'll cut that out. But yes, a couple of years ago, about 4 years ago, basically when I started the turkeys, gave me a lot more time to slow down and think about what's important in life. We bought the farm, literally bought the farm, because I was away so much with my other job, and it would give me time to be more time with the kids and my wife. So, and when you have time to think, your mind starts running. And I was baptized about a year after I got back from deployment with my dad and my brother. Wasn't the thing I was looking for. But you just start, I don't know, that we serve to be guardians, protectors of the country, and I started just going to church with my wife. She got me to go, and just following the steps along the path. Says, hey, walk in this path and do the things that Jesus did, and things in your life will get better. And I 100% believe that. I've transformed basically my body. I've started working out again and doing a lot of hard things. Cold plunging, if you want to do a polar plunge.
I've done that once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to do more?
I'm game, as long as the water's not very deep.
Yeah.
But I will definitely,
Yeah. That's one thing I started with. Was I was sitting on my doorstep one day, waiting to go get these kids. It was shortly after I took over the farm, and just something felt wrong, and I ended up calling the VA for help, and talked to a VA therapist for a little bit, a couple months. He was transferring to somewhere else, so I got kind of rerouted to a guy out of Moorhead. He was a civilian. He was great. Gave me a lot of tools to help work through some of the things that I was working through. And about a year after that, it just felt circular, like I was always going to be in there. I don't want to take medicine or drugs for any of this. I'm not to that point in any way, shape, or form. And so I quit that, and just started doing other things in my life. I used to drink a lot. Now it's maybe once a week, maybe, and most times not even that. It just feels like I've overcome a lot of adversity in life, and I starting with that day on the step that I called the VA, and I believe, it's a calling, It's, hey, get off your butt. There's a better way to do things in life, right? And so here we are, and this is 4 years later, and this is what we're doing. Yeah, and
it's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing.
How something like that would change your life.
It is. It's a total perspective shift from a survival instinct to a more creative instinct, and a more, like, you just see different paths in life or you can imagine different paths in life to.
Well, it kind of takes that fog out of the front of your eyes.
Yeah.
I know since I stopped drinking 2.5 years ago, it's totally changed my perspective on life.
Yeah.
I don't go anywhere without my wife unless I'm coming here.
Yeah.
But for the
100%.
most part, we do everything together.
That has been huge. That helped me lose weight. We're doing this in a bar, which is, both of us are sitting here not talking about not drinking.
But this is a veterans bar.
It is, and people are. It's free. Do what you want. If you want a beer, have a beer.
Right. I don't drink anymore, but there's times I'll come in here and the corner crew is sitting over there and I'll buy them around.
Yeah.
And then you look at me and like, oh, we'll buy you one. I'm like, what do you need to buy me a pop?
Give me a water.
Yeah, give me a water. It's just a sign of respect that way too.
Yeah, and I haven't totally quit, but it's not. Man, it doesn't have control of me anymore.
Right.
It is that, and I can dip in there and I can have a beer every now and then. And just, I'm done for the day.
Look at it and say, I got you beat. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That is, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not living with that. I can, yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir, I sure do.
No, it's,
you know, I was, unfortunately, I wasn't like you where I got to experience life without the alcohol with my kids. They were all grown and gone.
That's what I'm doing.
You're a lucky man that you get to experience this time with your kids and not have the fog of alcohol.
It's a blessing, and
It is.
thank you. Thank the Lord. That's the only way I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I'm doing it is for them and my wife. I mean, we got married. We made a covenant, I mean, that's our contract, and we made kids. So, like, I believe that I should be around as long as I can be and as healthy as I can be for them.
Right.
And that's how I'm going to hopefully live the rest of my life.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. You're not doing it just for them. You're doing it for yourself.
Yes.
Because
You have to do some of it for yourself. There's a good balance,
Yes,
a good amount of.
I mean, you don't blame
You gotta
anybody
take care
else.
of- no.
And that's the thing. You can't blame somebody
You
else.
can't.
I mean, I never did the steps, but I know what it's about. My dad was.
I didn't do the step. I didn't go to AA. I didn't like. I figured it out, man.
Yeah, that's the
It
same
was
with me
It's
too.
been
I
a
mean,
4-year
I did
process.
therapy, and you know, he gave me a lot of tools for my toolbox, just like yours did. You know, if I need to talk, I come here. I
Yeah.
talk to you, or I talk to Charlie, or whatever. A little closer. A little closer. No, I don't think I can get any closer.
Just a little
Just touch it with the
Oh, a
beard.
little louder. A little louder.
Touch it with the beard.
Yeah. No, I mean, but you know, we find more people. You know, that's the nice thing about being in a Legion. I think. Being involved in a Legion is that you're with people. Yeah, you know, most. Look at us. I mean, you're what, 40.
43. Be 44 in February.
I'm 58.
Oh.
Charlie's 70. Something.
Yeah.
I'm over that.
We'll leave it at
70,
70, Charlie.
But I said 70 something. But I mean, we all got stories to,
Yeah.
you know, and it's therapeutic. Just like
Yeah.
you said, one of the reasons you started this is therapy.
Yep.
It's therapy for us
Absolutely.
to talk about our experiences with people that have been there, done that.
And the way I look at that, if you look at it through the lens of the Bible, seek comfort in your friends. And I mean, we all know that we've been through something, whether it's 34 years and multiple deployments. I'm 6 years, one deployment, 21 years and some change over here, and
a
great
couple trips
story.
to Vietnam.
Couple, yeah. I mean, the way I saw this was nobody's doing this here. Somebody's got to stand up and do it. These stories are important. I believe that we, as veterans, are kind of we can be a bridge from the civilian to the military world, and maybe that's what the intent is. But I don't know. I had to come to that on my own. So.
Well, you know, it is what it is. But,
Yeah.
you know, I totally agree with what you said before, that it's therapy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is huge therapy.
Yeah. Don't seek comfort in a therapist. Seek comfort in your friends.
Exactly.
They will. But and also something that I'm coming more to is looking a little bit something to look forward to. You would have seen me all day. I haven't stopped. I've probably got 30,000 steps on my watch because I got nervous about this. But it's exciting, and I'm leaning into it. You know, those things that you're afraid of, just lean into them and just go conquer them.
Right.
And this is a great time. I had a great time with you last week, and hopefully I'm not micro machine talking.
No, I think you're doing pretty good. Yeah.
It is therapy. That's absolutely what it is.
So do you have any final thoughts? I mean, I know we still got, you know, about another 10 minutes or so, but I think we pretty much started at the beginning and went to the end, and a little beyond the end of your military career.
Yeah.
You know, I know here you are the, what do you want to say, the commander of the club committee?
Nah, I don't take titles, but
I know, but, you know,
if you have to say, yeah, club committee chair.
There you go.
We
That's
kind of oversee the bar and the food, and then we work hopefully very well with the rest of the groups in the Legion.
And you were first vice of the...
I was. You took that spot,
Yes,
and
I
I
did.
thank you for that. I'm not ready for that, but yeah, I think that's a better spot for me. I'm doing this for the Legion to get to stand up and say it's okay to talk and say, hey, yeah, we all have some issues. Civilians,
Right.
military, everybody's got issues. It's okay to talk about.
Right.
Because the more you talk about them, the more somebody else is going to relate to you, and you guys can find some common ground. You know, I mean, it's. I mean, everybody has their own reasons for serving, and once I got out of the Army, I kind of lost that purpose. And I understand. I am a servant at the end of the day, and work coming through the Legion really helped me kind of come out of my shell and evolve into. I've done a couple audio podcasts, like I said last week, and now I've collected some little toys, modern technology toys, and we're doing this.
But you know what I've figured out in 15 years that I've been a part of the Legion family, is you got to find the right Legion.
You do, yeah.
You know, I
got lucky.
I was in a couple others where you didn't have people like Charlie and Vern and yourself and that you could come and talk to.
Yeah, I'm trying to be more outspoken, and I mean, we got Charlie. I mean, you're a great addition, and I think we're moving up. We're going to do good things with this and try to get people in here, and then again serve for the community. Right, that's what we're here for.
That's what exactly what we're here for.
Yeah. And we had the Veterans Day program the other day at the elementary school. Had a great speaker from New Prague. I actually asked him to come and do this. It'll be the 3rd Saturday of December. Charlie.
Is that going to be here? Or?
I don't know yet. I may ask him if he wants to do it at his Legion, but maybe.
Well, if you do, I want to be there too.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Of course.
Good.
And
now Charlie said that he wants to do this.
Yeah, he might be the next one up here, the first Monday of December.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you're okay. Yeah, whatever we're gonna work it out. Everybody's super. I mean, this has been great. You volunteer. Everybody's volunteered, and I think we're gonna make something pretty neat here.
I do too. I think it's going to go very well.
Yeah.
So with that said, do you have any final thoughts?
I don't think so. I think that buzzer and the speaker is going to cut us off. But no, this was awesome. Thank you for this again, sir.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
Thank you.
Here every time you need me.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.